FM Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Game day is underway. This is the Terminix Kickoff Show on 1010XL, presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting. Here's Hayes Carline.
Well, I'm playing the part of Hayes Carline today, that's for sure. He's out in Vegas, but it is a fun trip for Hayes Carline. He's attending the game, going to concerts, doing all kinds of other things. But we have got it, me and E.T., as we are ready to roll a couple of hours before we hand it off to Jaguars programming. So if you guys are out and about, just keep it right here on 1010XL. It's the Vegas Raiders against your Jacksonville Jaguars. And E, we're going to be saying hello to Frank Frangie in a little bit. Rick Ballou is also out there. We'll catch up with him in the second hour. Bill Williamson's going to give us the Raiders vibe as far as what's going on. But, bro, this team comes off a bye week after a two-game losing streak. You got to get back to a dub.
Joe, we definitely got to get back to a dub, man. And I think this is the game to do it. This is the team to do it against. And this is what we need, man. Our Jaguars just need to come out and handle business, although we're facing a little bit of adversity. But that ain't nothing new to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, it sucks, though. And the news of the week was Travis Hunter going down with a knee injury, non-contact. It wasn't when the media was allowed to view practice. Here's a couple of sound bites that Denmark is producing today, put from Liam Cohen after the news came out at the last part of the week, and basically just talking about we don't know the severity of it. There's really not been an update since then, but here's what the head coach had to say about Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter was injured during practice on Thursday. He will be placed on IR here shortly. We'll miss at least 4 games. We're currently assessing the injury just to determine the best course of action moving forward for Travis and for the team. Feel bad for the guy, for the kid, for our team, for everything. But, he's in good spirits right now, and minor setback for a major comeback. That's just the way it's got to be.
Total kidney shot, throat punch type of thing. When you just saw Travis Hunter get in the end zone a couple of weeks ago against the Rams, it was not a good game, but he was at least a bright spot, and then he goes down. And when you heard what Coach Cohen said right there, it just had that somber sound to it, did it not?
It did. It had that somber sound. Like you said, it was just a gut punch, man, because we were really expecting Travis to really start becoming that true reason why we moved up and drafted him 2 overall. And with this injury, man, it's just it's a huge setback, man.
Yeah, and you're trying to find guys that can make plays on both sides of the ball. We know what this football team looked like in the first 5 weeks of the season, and we also know what it looked like the last couple of weeks of the season. They're struggling to get to quarterbacks and put pressure on them. They've given up the explosives, the big plays. They did it when they were at the bank against Jackson Smith and Jigba when he went off against them. And then the last time you saw him in London, Devontae Adams was crushing them with 3 touchdowns. And so pass pressure has got to be there today. And we'll see if Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker has a little bit of, how can you describe it? I'm a radio doctor on Breaking Bones, but they took the club cast off and fitted him with another, just a little more of a prototype where he can actually use his hands a little bit more. And so these two cats got to get it going, and they got to get after Geno Smith today.
And Geno will give you the ball. Geno is not afraid to give up that ball to you. So, yeah, if we could apply some pressure, give the DBs a little bit of time to cover, the two got to work hand in hand, but we need to get back on that turnover trend, and that pass rush will be a big part of that.
Yeah, there was a nice little feel to it early in the year when they were leading at 14 takeaways through the first 4 weeks. Things were just going sensationally on the defensive side with Anthony Campanile, and they were opportunistic. They were making plays. Now, Devin Lloyd didn't make the trip to London. You hope that he's going to be healthy enough to make plays today. We just mentioned at least an upgrade injury-wise with Trayvon Walker and his ability to get his hands on some people. That's going to help. And Jordan Lewis, the back end bright spot, a free agent that came in, was making plays. The next thing you know, he's responsible for more penalties than plays. And so these guys, they all need to come together. Anthony Campanile said he's not panicking over the idea that they're not getting to the pass rusher or the passer, but you know as well as I do, if you don't get to the quarterback, those guys in the secondary are just going to be sitting ducks, man.
You can't guard those guys forever, man. It's a lot harder than people think, man. We get mad and we yell at the TV screen that our DBs aren't covering the receivers, but it's not easy to stay in front of somebody running backwards like these professional athletes. It's a tough job. So that D-line really has to help our secondary by getting after the quarterback and making him uncomfortable in that pocket.
All right, let's roll some dice. Let's kick it out to Vegas with the play-by-play man that you will hear right here on the Superstation, Frank Frangie.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
You hear him every afternoon, and you also hear him on the call a little bit later on today. It is a little after 8 a.m. in the desert, Frank. You got that early wake-up call, and you're going to be heading down to the stadium here in just a little while, right?
Yeah, I am, Joe. Good morning to you and ET. And, I love coming out here. I'm not a big gambler, so we don't really go to the Strip. We stay out here in the Summerlin area. But it's a beautiful area here in the desert. Weather's been fantastic, although it's an indoor game. But, yeah, we're looking forward to it. I think the Jags, Joe, are trying to kind of get back on the right track here. They've had a couple losses, but I think if a team ever needed a week off, this team did with the Kansas City win and certainly all the attention with all the newness and now ready to go here against the Raiders.
Frank, set the scene for us out there, man, because our Jaguars are coming off of a bye week, and we're playing a team in the Raiders who we believe are very beatable. They have a 2-5 record. They're amongst the bottom in pretty much everything. They're giving up points. They're not scoring too many. So set the scene as far as what Raider Nation think about us Jaguars coming out there. Do they think that this is a stat game? Do they think that this is a game that they're going to win? What's their mindset out there?
Well, ET, number one, the Raiders are way more worried about the Raiders than any team that's coming into the play. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, they had 3 first downs. You realize that? 3 first downs in the game. They were miserable. Now, look, the Chiefs have found something. They're playing better. But they lost 31-0. They needed an off week, too. So the Raiders are worried about the Raiders. They're worried about Pete Carroll is a well-liked guy out here. Geno Smith's playing miserably. He's got 10 interceptions. That ties for the league lead. So the Raiders are worried about the Raiders. More the chatter I hear out here. We got here early yesterday. Typically, the Jags will get to the Miller Electric Center on a Saturday for a road game. They'll do a walkthrough there at the Miller Electric Center, and then we'll fly around 2:00. Well, Liam wanted to get him out of town. It's going to be hard to practice at the Miller Electric Center with all the Florida Georgia activities. So we actually flew at 8 in the morning, got out here, and then the walkthrough was at Bishop Gorman High School, one of the prominent high schools out here. So we've been here a long time is the point. I've been here for a day and a half now, it feels like. And I think the Raiders are worried about the Raiders. Is the Pete Carroll thing going to work? Was Geno Smith the wrong or the right idea? They've still got to find their quarterback of the future. So they're worried about that. I hear way more talk about that than the Jaguars. Look, ET, it's 2 teams now that are reeling a little bit. 2 teams that don't like the way they've played of late. Both had an off week. And so it's going to be an interesting game to see which one of those guys bounce back first.
Yeah, we're talking with Frank Frangie, play-by-play voice of your Jacksonville Jaguars. You'll hear the call later on right here on the Superstation once we hand it off to Jaguars programming coming up at 1 o'clock local. And the other thing, Frank, the Travis Hunter news, and Leon Searcy said it on XL Primetime with us earlier this week, is that while it's bad news, he told the story of a guy that he played with that when he went down, basically he looked at the rest of the guys and said, you guys get me to the playoffs and I'll be back and ready to go. So that's the mindset, is it not? You got to gather together and make some plays while this guy's missing.
Yeah, 2 or 3 thoughts on that, Joe. Number one, this team started 4-1. They were on top of the world. And when they were 4-1, Travis Hunter hadn't done very much. That's no knock on Travis. He's a rookie. He's trying to find his way. They're trying to find their way where they play on offense or defense. But they were 4-1 without much from Travis Hunter and, frankly, without much from Brian Thomas Jr. They were 4-1. And if not for sort of a phantom pass interference call on Hunter against Cincinnati, they'd have been 5-0. So they've proven they can win most of their games without a lot of production from Travis. That's just the reality. Having said that, it's still a real gut punch because they were transitioning to where he was going to be their lead guy. I don't think there was any to Liam Cohen's credit, Joe, he was very transparent about that. He said, we're going to target him more. They said in the Rams they did target him more, and I think everybody and their brother was expecting that again today. So you go through the whole week, and I don't know that that's what they were going to do, but let's assume Travis Hunter was getting all the targets this week, or a lot of them, and then you lose him on Thursday. Well, you can't rewrite your game plan, So Does Brian Thomas Jr. get those balls? Does Parker Washington get them? They're bringing up Austin Trammell to sort of be their fourth receiver. What do they do with him? So it was a gut punch because of when it happened and how it happened. But it is a 4-1 team. They were a 4-1 team without him doing very much. As for the return, Joe, I don't know that we know yet. I think that to the Jags' credit, they said, listen, we're going to put him on IR. He's down for at least 4 weeks. We can bring him back off IR. That's the IR we put him on. But nobody knows. The good thing is it's not an ACL tear. The ACL's intact. He hyperextended it. They put it back. They want to see how long it takes to kind of get it back to normal. I will tell you this. If I was the owner of the team or the coach of the team or the GM or EVP or whatever, I would be reluctant to bring him back unless I knew he was really, really healthy. The last thing you need is a guy who's always going to have a gimpy knee. He's never been hurt before. He's a healthy guy. I would have some trepidation. We'll see what they do in 4 weeks.
There are some spots that we could use a little extra help on this roster. And with the trade deadline coming up, and James Gladstone and both Tony Baselli, they've shown that they're not afraid to shake some things up with the moves that they've already made to bolster this roster. With the trade deadline coming up, do you anticipate them shaking things up a little bit more?
I think today's game, ET, has a lot to do with that. I think if they lose today, they're a 4-4 team again with the Colts in the division, with the Texans starting to find themselves in a very good AFC. I think you have to think. Now that's me. That's not what they've told me. I'm telling you what I think. But I think you got to think long and hard about do you forward or forego some equity in the future to improve a team that's 4-4. If you're 5-3 and you feel like you've kind of righted the ship a little bit, and then there's an area, then yeah. So I think you always look at who's available. James Gladstone is always talking to other GMs. Always. That's how the Greg Newsome Tyson Campbell thing got done. He was in a conversation with Cleveland, and they both said, "Listen, I'm trying to move this guy. I'm trying to move this guy. Why don't we move them for each other?" So there's always conversation. To your question, to me, the one area where they've got to do something is defensive tackle. That's where they just haven't been very good all year long. Right now, linebackers are a concern until Devin Lloyd comes back. Safety is a concern until Eric Murray comes back. They've got guys out there so I wouldn't be surprised to see them add a safety at some point. But the real area to me where they just haven't been very good is defensive tackle. I think there's a reason Josh Hines Allen only has half a sack. ET is because he's getting no help in the middle. They can double team him. They can chip him. They don't have to work very hard to block the Jaguars' middle. So to me, if you did anything, in my mind, defensive tackle is where you got to get better.
All right, a couple more for Frank Francis before we turn him loose and he heads down to Allegiant Stadium. You mentioned today, depending on what happens, they may be aggressive or sit back and see. But, Frank, like the offensive line and the penalty problems and the blocking with 14 sacks that Trevor's had to absorb, not to mention the hits, can we see or expect something there along this offensive line, a change perhaps today?
I'd be surprised, Joe, to see them go at an offensive lineman, if that's your question. As for today, they've got all 5 guys in place. I think there's 2 things. They got whipped up front by the Seahawks. The Seahawks, he had no time. There's nothing Trevor could have done. Last week against the Rams, if you watch the tape, and from what I'm being told and watching, that was kind of part of the line, and Trevor held the ball. He didn't get the ball out quickly. So I think that was probably on both of them. I think their line, when healthy, is going to be okay. I think Patrick McCarry's playing hurt. I'd keep an eye on right guard because if he's still hurt and not himself, you could see something there today. Robert Hainsey's back now. But for me, more than anything else, Joe, I think the line's going to be okay. They got to play better, but I don't think you're going to see different people in there. What I do think you might see is movement along the defensive front, change in defensive scheme. What they do defensively is interesting to me. One other thing, by the way, Joe and E.T., who does get the ball today? See, one thing about Travis Hunter being down, it's a great opportunity for Brian Thomas Jr. to kind of reclaim his place. He was third in the league last year in receiving yards, and everybody thought he was headed to superstardom, and then he's got off to a miserable start that we all know. He's dropped some balls. He's shied away from some balls. Well, now he's had an off week. Now he's got to be the star again because Travis Hunter's down for a while. What a great chance for Brian Thomas Jr. to say, you know what, I can put this bad start behind me and reclaim my spot. So I'll be interested to see how number 7 plays today as well.
And Frank, I like to end with this type of question. In order for our Jacksonville Jaguars to walk out of Allegiant Stadium with that dub, what needs to happen?
Got to run the ball, ET. They started the season running the ball. They were third or fourth in the league in rushing offense. They're now 14th in the league in rushing offense. They've got to stay committed to running the ball. They've lost probably their best pass catcher, the guy that was headed to be in that, in Travis Hunter. Number one, they've got to run the ball. I think more than anything else, they've got to run the ball. And number two, harass Geno Smith into some mistakes. He's thrown 10 interceptions. He does not. He's got Brock Bowers, the former Bulldog, who's a great receiver, but he doesn't have a lot of great receivers. So two things: harass Geno Smith, get some takeaways. They were the best takeaway team in the league for a long time. Keep doing that, and they've got to run the football. If you look up and the Jags have 100, excuse me, if you look up and the Jags have north of 150 rushing yards, they've won the game. If you look up and they've got 65 rushing yards, they've lost the game. And anywhere in between, we'll see what happens. Run the ball and harass Geno Smith, and then win. I think they're going to win today. By the way, it was two tough days against two really good teams. Now you play a team that's not as good. I think the Jags win today.
Yeah, they better beat that butt out there. That's for sure. Otherwise, there will be more questions than answers. Frank, have fun. By the way, you said you're in Vegas. I'm on my Hard Rock Bet app right now. You can see it on the stream.
Yeah.
I got a 7-leg parlay I'm trying to pull off today. I cannot believe you didn't spend the wee hours at the craps table or in the sports book. Come on, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and there's a casino out here where we're staying, and I walked through it at the Red Rocks Resort. I'm so no good, Joe. I'm the worst gambler ever. Okay,
I am the worst gambler.
Yeah, and I walk through it. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm just going to go. I'm going to keep my rather than just handing them my wallet. So no gambling out here for me. But I will say this: it is a magnificent city. It is. The lights are always shining brightly. It's a great place to visit. It really is. And for people that haven't had a chance to come to Vegas, they should, just to see the lights and the way it all happens out here. And I'm excited about the game. No, I didn't gamble. I didn't throw away my wallet, Joe. Not this week. Anyway.
The difference between you and I is we're both the worst gamblers. I just lose money being the worst gambler. You don't. See, you're smarter that way. All right, man. Have a good call today.
All right, Joe and AT. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
And E, I'm looking at all these, dude. I'm just trying to figure them out right now. The Titans, we'll do an AFC South look around a little bit later on, but they are a 10-point dog at home to the L.A. Chargers. The Colts, we know how red hot they are. The Texans have got a big game. Anyway, I'm looking at all these lines. Let's stay out there in Vegas. We're going to say hello to one of your dudes, Bill Williamson. He covers the Raiders behind enemy lines. We'll do that with him coming up. It is the Terminix Kickoff Show presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campion Law. Joe C., happy to sit in Hayes' chair along with E.T. and Dylan Denmark.
What are the many ways to experience 1010XL?
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at 1010XL.
Carolina Jack's in historic Riverside has been named Best Burger in Jacksonville for 5 years in a row. They serve fresh, certified Angus beef smash burgers on locally baked buns with Florida fresh produce. Try favorites like the Riverside or a bacon cheddar. They have weekday lunch specials from 11 to 2 and open Sundays for pregame or postgame. Carolina Jack's is where it's at.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coil Fencing. Coil has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coil has been installing fences since before Emery Billard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coil Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. Coil Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
He flies under the radar.
You don't find this guy, he finds you.
Stealthy Hayes Carlyle
Best thing I can do is point you in the direction of his competition.
takes you behind enemy lines. Activated by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? It's the Black Friday sales event going on now at Renewal by Andersen. Buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. This offer expires November 30th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindowWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindowWorld also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now let's go behind enemy lines. Behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
All right, time to look across the other side of the field and see what those Las Vegas Raiders look like. It is the Terminix Kickoff Show presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campion Law. Joe C. along with E.T. And let's welcome in Bill Williamson. He covers those Las Vegas Raiders for SB Nation. Bill, welcome in. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we appreciate your time, especially when you look at two teams right now that are trying to get well. Both of them think they might be able to have that get well pill by playing the other team. What's the Raiders' mindset coming into this game against the Jags?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're home. Probably not going to be a ton of Jaguar fans there, and that's kind of unusual in Las Vegas because it's been overtaken by the opposing fans since fans started going inside the building in 2021. So that could help the Raiders. But they're really looking at this as a reset. They both teams are coming off their byes. The Raiders have had pretty solid health overall compared to the rest of the league. But in the last couple of games, they're banged up, and they're coming out of this game with 53-man roster completely healthy. There's no players that have an injury question today. So they're ready to go. The key is Brock Bowers. He's going to be as healthy as he's been since week one. He got hurt late against New England in the first game after having a good game, and then played the next 3 games and just wasn't himself, had a knee brace on. And then they actually sat him since. So he's coming back. Expect the Raiders to really try to get him going immediately. So he's a guy to really key on. This is a real reset for the team. Pete Carroll, who's always very positive, instead they had a great week of practice. Who knows what that means? That can mean anything or nothing. And we'll see how it goes. But the Raiders have a lot to prove. I mean, they've been beat 5 times, and 4 of those 5 times have been by double digits. They haven't competed. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough day for the Raiders challenge-wise, but, we'll see. Like I said, the Jaguars are kind of, having some issues as well.
Thank you so much for joining us, Bill. For a long time, the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was thought of, from the fans and from the public eye that Ashton Jeanty was going to be that pick for us here in Jacksonville, and we're real excited. He has Jacksonville ties. There was needs at that position at the time, and so instead the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up and we took Travis Hunter. But speaking on Jeanty, how has he fared for you as far as Raider Nation goes?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I think everybody, me included, expected him to be an immediate impact. And, it hasn't happened much. The big picture is that he hasn't been getting great blocking, and he's been tackled behind the line of scrimmage and a large amount of times. But he has had his moments. He's broken off a lot of runs. But it's just overall the impact hasn't quite been there. He's only had like 1 game over 78 yards, I believe. But I don't know if that's a him problem or a scheme problem or offensive line problem. I think it's everything. But, yet he hasn't been that transcendent impact player that many people think the number 6 pick, if you're a running back, should be. But he certainly has time.
We're talking with Bill Williamson, SB Nation. He covers the Raiders. You can definitely check him out online. And I agree, if that offensive line or the passing game doesn't help you, the run game is pretty easy to lock in on for defenses, and that's job number 1 to shut down Ashton Jeanty. What about Geno Smith cleaning up the mistakes? We're talking about the same theme here in Jacksonville, but what about 7 touchdowns, 10 picks for Geno during the bye week? What was the assignment?
Yeah, and most of those interceptions are just bad mistakes, and it's happened all season. He's the real disappointment. Pete Carroll handpicked him. Obviously, they have a history together, and it just hasn't worked. It's funny because week 1, he was excellent. He against New England, he had I think 11 passes over 20 yards, hit 9 different targets for big plays, and you're like, wow, this Raiders offense is going to be a different story this year, and then it hasn't shown up since. So he's a big key, and he's a player that I'm sure Jacksonville is really focusing on to try to force mistakes and turn this game. So it hasn't been good.
With 18 solo tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and an interception, Max Crosby clearly is the man on the Raiders defense. How does a guy like that continue to keep an Oakland Raiders team motivated and looking for that W each week?
Yeah, you guys are going to enjoy watching him. He's a fun player. I mean, just, almost underrated, because he is just, I think, a top 5 defensive player regardless of position. He's just so so relentless, and he just always shows up. And I just can't say enough about that player. You know, 4th round pick 6 years ago, and just an incredible high effort player. And and he's a guy that's always subject to trade rumors because his team hasn't played very well. But I don't think I would be shocked if he's traded in the next 48 hours. But yeah, he is a guy that you build around, and you're lucky to have him. I can't say enough about that player.
Yeah, Max is a baller, and it's so funny, Bill. We're talking with Bill Williamson. SB Nation covers the Raiders, and you're talking about this team lacking pass pressure and a quarterback that's having struggles. It's the same kind of thing out there if Max isn't healthy, but that dude can get after it. So the back you don't think is a concern at all. Like you said, 53-man roster, everybody looks pretty healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's probably not great. They kept him out of the second half of the Kansas City game because there was just an absolute blowout. And he's also dealing with the knee, so they just kind of sat him. He didn't practice during the bye week. He did practice on Thursday and Friday and limited. He's not going to be perfect, but I think he's going to be enough to get through the game.
With Geno Smith leading the team out there, with 10 interceptions, what has been the reason for that? Is it just Geno? Because he's been playing very well, especially coming out of Seattle. What has been the cause of Geno, like the sudden turnaround and just throwing all those interceptions?
Yeah, it's just a lot of mistakes. I don't think his offensive coordinator's helping him much, to tell you the truth. I mean, this is the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league, and a lot of people thought it was a curious hire because, he's had his success in college in the NFL, which he hadn't been in since 2016. He struggled in the NFL as a head coach, and now he's struggling as an NFL offensive coordinator. Pete Carroll has talked about balance a couple of times, and that's kind of, we look like he's pointing fingers at his offensive coordinator. So, yeah, he's one of the problems as well, Chip Kelly is.
All right, so when we look at this game, what do you think the essence of what you need to see, Bill? You cover the Raiders on a regular basis. What's the essence of what you need to see both sides of the ball for LV to basically win at home, get back to winning ways, and send the Jaguars coming back to Duval with an L?
Yeah, I think you got to focus. They got to focus on Bowers and Genty, getting those two, players going and limit Geno's mistakes, and then force Trevor Lawrence into mistakes. Their wide receivers are obviously, there's issues there, and it looks like Thomas is going to play right, but is he going to be completely healthy? And so the Raiders have to take advantage of a quarterback who makes mistakes as well, and some depth problems at receiver, and then offensively you got to really ride your best players.
All right, man, we appreciate your time, that's for sure. We're getting ready for this kick a little bit later on in the 4 o'clock NFL window, and we're not used to that, and it's just because we're out west taking on those Raiders. That's really what it is. Bill, we appreciate your time, man, that's for sure.
All right, take care. Thanks, guys.
All right, Bill Williamson, SB Nation, and also Silver Back Pride contributor there at B. Williamson NFL. That's a good dude.
Yeah, I really respect Bill and all the hard work that he's been putting in for the past 29 years. Bill been doing his thing.
Yeah. All right, now let's keep it going. Let's get back to a little bit of the thought as to who can step up with Travis Hunter not being available today. We had a little conversation with Frank about Brian Thomas Jr., so let's get back to that, and get an idea of where it can come from offensively. This team absolutely needs to run the football, but they need some of those big plays down the field. We'll get to that coming up. It is the Terminix Kickoff Show presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting. Thanks for hanging out with us. We see you guys on YouTube. We'll get to a couple of comments from there. You can definitely jump in the chat or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Joe C. and E.T.
From Duval to the world.
All communication lines are clear.
Download the 1010XL apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville trusts. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window
World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
When the team heats up and the temps climb high, Sunrise Heating and AC keeps you cool. That's no lie. From kickoff to overtime and every long drive, they'll keep your home feeling fresh and alive. When your system's down, don't sweat the score. Sunrise Heating and AC of North Florida is ready to restore. Fast, honest service from a local crew, keeping Jacksonville fans chill all season through. Your comfort starts here at sunriseheatingandac.com.
Touchdown! Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law on 1010XL.
Getting closer and closer to handing off to Jaguars programming. Then the kick will come a little after 4 o'clock this afternoon. I do agree with one of those that is watching the stream show on YouTube. Dang, man. Waiting until 4 for kickoff sucks. I know exactly what you're talking about. Joe C., E.T., Dylan Denmark producing, and we are hanging out a little bit longer during the day. But you know the beautiful thing about it, E, is that you can flip on Red Zone for the 1 o'clock games, and you could see a whole lot of ball before you focus in fully on your Jags with that 4 o'clock kick.
Absolutely, man. 4 o'clock kicks aren't that bad. Only thing that I was like, oh, man, because I think the Bills and the Chiefs are also in that 4 o'clock window today.
Yeah.
That's a game I definitely wanted to watch and lock in on a little bit. But, of course, when the Jags playing, it's always the Jags, baby.
Yeah, keep one eye on it. Keep one eye on it. But listen, dude, you got a couple of really good storylines. The Vikings and the Lions with J.J. McCarthy coming back from injury. We're going to find out what he looks like. The Packers, they're on a roll, bro. They're playing a bad Panthers team. You got the Broncos against the Texans. Texans are favored at home. I think that line's moved to 2.5. And a couple of other good ones, like you said, a little bit later on, we're going to be treated to that just matchup between Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes is going to be so big. All right, so let's stay on your Jacksonville Jaguars. One of our viewers on YouTube said, hey, good confidence booster game, says Andrew, after playing 2 Super Bowl contenders. And then he asked the question, Lloyd playing today. We will hit that injury report coming up in just a little bit. But, dude, based on what we have seen, he has been a limited participant in practice. And getting Devin Lloyd back, I think, is just paramount for this football team to try and get something going.
Absolutely. It's crazy how one man could probably make so much of a difference because he's been playing at a defensive player of the year level, still tied for first in the NFL for interceptions, and he's just been a true playmaker. So getting him back would be paramount for this team.
Yeah, he's labeled right now as questionable in the news, not only with Travis Hunter being out, also Eric Murray being put on injured reserve as well. And that's when it's not being mentioned nearly as much as Travis Hunter for all the obvious reasons, but that's going to hurt as well. They need to make sure they button up that back end. All right, let's get to a couple of pieces of sound from the locker room from earlier this week. And let's just start off with Trevor. After getting pounded, that offensive line didn't help him at all against a really good Seattle pass rush, and then the following week against those L.A. Rams. But here's Trevor talking about coming off the bye week.
The things that we've talked about that we knew, that we've known are problems, I guess, that we haven't done well are evident that we need to improve on. I think when you take a step back from it, though, and really look at it for what it is, yes, we need to improve, we need to get better, and we haven't played to our standard, but it's very, correctable things and things that I know that we can execute and can do well, and we can be a really good offense. So we haven't done that to this point. We haven't played a complete game, but feel very optimistic about where we're heading, the direction we're going, everyone being on the same page. I think that's a big thing, which was good for the open week, to get on the same page, to talk about some stuff, what we need to get better at, what we need to correct. And I really feel confident, optimistic moving forward, and like this unit is going to really make the improvements, and obviously starts with me, and I'm excited for another opportunity.
That bye week came at a perfect time, Joe, because our Jags started out hot. A lot of people didn't see our Jaguars being where they are right now. We're 4-3. Probably should be, even 5-2 or even 6-1. But the Jags have beaten the Jags in a lot of places. Like all the penalties and all the pre-snap errors, like we can fix that. All of that is fixable. And with the Jags going into that bye week after big wins against Kansas City and the 49ers, then we lost some games a little bit after that. So this bye week is kind of a reset. Like, hey guys, we are them, but we need to play like that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing that Frank said about the Raiders. They need to worry about the Raiders as much as they need to worry about anybody else. And this is the exact same thing, bro. This is Jacksonville trying to clean up 95 yards on average worth of penalties, Oof. 9 flags worth of penalties the last 3 games. Dude, that is unacceptable, man. That crap has got to stop. And so you are 100% correct when you say, look, Leon always preaches this. Be about your business. Don't talk about it, be about it. And you're responsible for this team having 1st and 15, 1st and 20, whatever the case is, because of too many damn penalty flags.
Absolutely. Those penalties will get you every time, and that's something that we're not new to is getting that penalty thrown on us before the quarterback even gets his chance to say hi.
All right, let's get back to at least some of that accountability taken by both the players and the coaches. Let's see if that, I love when Trevor says all this stuff, but I need to see it from him as much as I need to see it from any of the other guys wearing the teal and black as well. But that's what he talked about earlier this week, the accountability.
The way Coach has done it has been awesome. It's been very, I'd say, genuine, very honest, and he shows examples of hey, this is, because it's one thing to say, hey, I got to be better here, and but then not to have any really examples of what you can do better. And for him to, he'll put stuff up there and say it in front of the team of, hey, this was not my best call here, and this is what and how he's going to fix it moving forward. And I think just stuff like that as players, that he's not just faking it. He actually believes that there's things that he needs to do better to help us. And we know as players, there's a lot of stuff we need to do better to help him. So I think that accountability is really cool when everyone is taking their share of it, because you all want to take more accountability when you see people around you doing it.
The Jacksonville Jaguars media team put out a clip, and their media team is top tier, chef's kiss. Yeah. They do their thing with that media. But they put out a clip of Liam taking accountability. And I felt like I was in that room. It kind of gave me goosebumps and chills, because I see and I feel exactly what Trevor is saying in regards to other people other than the players taking accountability. Liam really taking accountability. It put me in a sense of Joe, when you're in a relationship and your girlfriend finally says sorry or I did something wrong. It's that reassurance and that type of accountability as I felt when I was watching that.
Dude, I am the king of I was wrong with TLD, the lovely Diane. The only time I'm right is when I admit that I'm wrong. So that's the way that one goes. So I totally get it, dude. But I have always said this, and I believe this, man, in my heart of hearts. The old line is, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. I firmly believe it's about both of them. Mm-hmm. And you can be a good play caller and a good game planner. You have to have that to go with the studs that you have wearing your uniform. And so either he's packing too much information into their brain, and that's what's leading to these false starts or improper alignment or whatever on the offensive side. And the players themselves got to take responsibility. Get your head out of your rear end and make sure that you make the play, and don't cost your team.
And with Liam Cohen being this is his first year as being a head coach, I think he gets it. He's relatable, and he gets it. And I think the players are really reading into that, and they're taking it in. But like you said, man, it's not just the X's and O's, it's the players and the Joes. What was it, Joe?
Yeah, the Jimmys and Joes.
The Jimmys and Joes, yeah.
All right, so let's get to another one, because if you can, right the ship and get out and play a clean game. Those players are going to be the reason why the Brian Thomas Jr.'s of the world need to step up. Enough with the drops. Drop the drops. Get out there and start making plays again. So Liam Cohen was asked about what makes coaches good after bye weeks, because that's when you kind of do your little self-scouting and all that kind of stuff and try and turn things around. Here's Coach Cohen.
Something I was talking to Trevor about is I think maybe the teams that maybe identify, I guess you could say, an issue, right? Issue or somewhere where you're underperforming / where what you're doing well, and either coming into this week, right, of your next game, addressing those tangibly. All right, we want to improve in this area. Well, if you just say it, might not get done. You usually, from players, you get what you emphasize very, very often. And so if there's areas where you're trying to show and improve, not just talking about it or getting the stats and showing it, well, going out, addressing it in the meeting, showing the examples, but then applying it to practice, applying it to the walkthroughs of, okay, guys, these are the tangible areas where we need to improve and what we want to improve upon, and actually go attack it. I think maybe those are some ways where you can look at people having success off of the bye is, are you addressing those areas tangibly with the way that you prepare, the way that you practice, and then obviously trying to go execute those things in a game.
I love that soundbite because he said identifying areas to improve in and attack them. Well, it's not hard to identify some of those areas. Like I said, it's the pre-snap penalties, those penalties that we're beating ourselves with. And so how do you address it and attack it? Because a conversation here is this team is not disciplined. Well, whose fault is that? Is that on the coaches or is that on the players? So how do you identify it and fix it?
Yeah, it's an excellent point because I still do believe firmly it falls at the feet of both of them. If you're a guy who's false starting or not lining up properly, that's you. That is the player, and you need to feel the threat of somebody else stepping in and taking over for you if you keep doing it. And then at the same time, the coaches say, you know what, I got to do a better job. I got to make sure that every single time we have a rep in practice that we're demanding something out of these guys, that we're making them accountable, and it's on us to do that. And so it's always going to be a combo in my mind. All right, we mentioned Brian Thomas Jr. Bro, it is so important for him to step up and make plays today. Now, Liam Cohen chimed in on the idea of just not forcing Brian Thomas Jr. to right the ship and drop the drops. But this is a coach's situation. You got to put some pressure on that cat to clean things up.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, that's always a balance as a play caller where you want to get something going, for not just the individual, but for the group, right? It's to be able to create explosives by throwing the football. That's definitely something you have to think through, but it's not really something that I'm, as a play caller sitting there like, man, we just can't. I mean, I threw it 40-something times in the last 2 games. If I lost confidence in the past game, I probably wouldn't have done that. So, we still have a lot of confidence.
I ain't gonna lie, Joe. I don't really necessarily agree with that take. I'm forcing it to be TJ. I'm giving him 15, 16, 17 targets because this is pivotal, Joe. We got to know who we got in this guy right now. And I said this a couple weeks ago. I would feature BTJ after that tough week. I believe it was Cincinnati. After the Cincinnati week, I said I would feature BTJ next week because we got to know who we have. And you don't want to coddle and babysit it. Man, you're a first-round draft pick, and you're supposed to be our alpha. So, here's a football. Look at it here. I'm going to throw it to you. You better catch it.
Bottom line business. That's it. You're judged on what the score says and what you do to affect the score. And what you said to start off is that you don't think for a moment that they're going to force it to Jamar Chase when they need it the most. They're going to force it to Justin Jefferson. When J.J. McCarthy gets under center today, he's going to be looking for Justin Jefferson. And you go down the line with all the other guys. Those are the players that are paid to make plays. And he was that cat last year, and he needs to be that guy again. All right, one more from Liam Cohen. Before we hit the top of the hour, and we heard from Bill Williamson just talking about Max Crosby, and he said he's a treat to watch. Like, whatever, bro. He may not be a treat for Jaguar fans to watch today if he's getting after old 16, but Crosby is one tough son of a gun, gifted. I want to say he might have been a third-round draft pick, and he is – talk about getting paid with results. That's what this dude is, and here's Cohen talking about his pass rush ability.
Yeah, he's a creature for sure. Just the strain, the relentless effort, the batted balls. I mean, they lead the National Football League right now in tip balls as a defense, as a group. He's so long. He's so long that initially, like if your eyes as a quarterback are maybe at your number one read right away, and it's like quick game or whatever it is, he does a great job of getting his hands on balls, and then if it is a little bit of a longer developing pass play, well, that's when you just kind of see him relentlessly strain. And, he's just so long in terms of his legs, the bounding, his ability to get to the quarterback. And then the way he's played the run. They've played the run well as a defense all year as well. So somebody we're definitely aware of.
And Joe, I'm over here trying to find out real quick who wears the number 98 for the Jaguars because, man, Max Crosby, we're would look good in that 98 teal.
Oh, yeah. I think that's
man.
Johnson. But
He might just have to change his number because there's nothing, no disrespect to Johnson, but there's nothing more I would like than to see Max Crosby in teal, man.
yeah, he's something else, man. He is a competitor, a dog, all the things that Cohen just said about him and we have seen, and no question. All right, let's keep it going. Into the noon hour we go. We're going to get you ready for Jaguars programming, which will pick up at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We take you all the way up to kickoff, and then you've got the fifth quarter after that with Big Serge, Ryan the Hacker Green, Coach Gerald Ingram. You got a full day of Jaguars programming right here on 1010XL with the Terminix Kickoff Show presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law. We'll be back with more Joe C., E.T., and Dylan Denmark.
Share your life with 1010XL. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Oh, wait. I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook. What? Hashtag
1010XL.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? You know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special Ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hey, it's Joe C. The chill is in the air and your backyard can still be the heart of the season. Gather your family around a beautiful outdoor fireplace from Isocurrent or Napoleon, expertly installed by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. From elegant stone fireplaces to wood burning or gas fire pits, CSS creates cozy spaces where memories are made and where every night can feel like a celebration. You dream it, they can build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
CSS.
Slacker Plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Huh? I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Your favorite band live, First Chord Hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah & Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've got a simple question. How much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
Frank, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat is only a measure of weight for gemstones. It'd be no different than me saying, I have a beautiful wife. She weighs 125 pounds, which you'd find is a ridiculous description. Diamonds are graded for 4 factors, and carat weight is only one of those factors. The others are cut, color, and clarity, and each of these factors is graded specifically and set by a certified gemologist in an accredited gem laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwoods, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the rarity and value of the diamond. Needless to say, we all understand the value of a dollar. At Underwoods, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if you're shopping for the best, stop by Underwoods.
That's at Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, or at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This is the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL. Home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We keep it rolling on the Kickoff Show, and this is not good news. We've already had it with Travis Hunter ending on IR earlier this week. Now Adam Schefter posting on X, Devin Lloyd listed as questionable for today due to a calf injury, not expected to play versus the Raiders. That is not good. He's a guy who's unlocked a lot of things on the defensive side of the ball this year, and hell, it's a contract year for him. So the last thing he wants is for this calf injury to linger on.
Absolutely, and that calf injury can turn into something else that could be more threatening to his career or even his season. So, I mean, cool to play it safe, but man, that certainly is a blow not having him out there again today.
Yeah, and you, from your Achilles injury history, can appreciate or not appreciate, but just how scary that is when that calf starts to be messed up.
Man, listen, that Achilles injury is something else. It'll take you out, but with the technology these days, it'll have you bounce right back. But again, man, it's unfortunate for us not having Devin Lloyd out there today.
Yeah, it stinks. Here's what Cohen had to say about Devin Lloyd. This was earlier in the week, hoping that he would be able to get him back because of just how many plays he has made on that side of the ball.
A little bit more on the quieter side early, getting to know him, and then you talk to him and you hear a very mature dude, and just he had specific goals that he wanted to accomplish this season, and I thought he attacked it in the exact right way. Like, you look at the offseason program, wanting to get faster, a little bit more athletic, be a little bit more dynamic. I thought he attacked it the right way. He came in training camp. We had multiple conversations with him. And just, this is what I expect. These are my expectations for myself as a player and how I can help this defense and this team. And that's what it's been the entire time that I've gotten to know Devin. He's obviously made a ton of huge plays for us this season, and have a lot of respect for the player in person.
That's, again, it's unfortunate, but next man up, Joe.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the game, man. Unfortunately, injuries is part of it. But like I said, man, you have a 53-man roster for a reason, man. Next man up.
Yeah, and they've had other guys that have been able to make plays out of that linebacking core. Dennis Gardeck definitely has been able to. Ventrell Miller, a season ago, really throughout training camp, was challenging Devin Lloyd for that starting spot and made his share of plays, so we'll see what he can do. But that really is what it boils down to, is that you hope Jimmy Gladstones, I like to call him, going forward, is going to show those stones when it comes to making decisions, signing either free agents or continuing to load up on draft picks that are going to be better for this football team, because they're just too dang thin in some critical spots. You got linebackers that are going to be MIA. Now you got safeties that are going to be MIA. You already had Travis Hunter, part-time cornerback, part-time wide receiver, also MIA. All right, so let's hit the AFC South, my man. We've got other big games inside the AFC South. Right now the Colts are running away with it, a 7-1 record, and they're right now leading the charge. It wasn't that long ago that Jacksonville and Indy were tied at the top, a pair of 4-1 teams, but they have only lost one game, and it's crazy to think that was when one of their dudes decided to drop the ball before he crossed the goal line. Otherwise, they would have beaten the Rams. They're on the road taking on a 4-3 Steelers team, and the Steelers, I want to say, are catching somewhere around a field goal at Hard Rock Bet. This is almost a little bit of a scary game for Indianapolis, because that is a wounded Pittsburgh team that really needs a win.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh definitely needs a win. Just the whole South right now, it's other than the Colts, because the Colts really, they are the surprise team, man. Really, Indiana Jones, what a great nickname too, by the way. But Daniel Jones, he's definitely, dare I say, turning his career around. He's playing very well for the Colts.
Yeah, he's been reinvented, dude. We've had Renaissance men over the last couple of years, Baker Mayfield being the biggest of those guys, and you had Sam Darnold last year. Now you got another guy in Danny Jones that most had given up on. I'm looking at some of the numbers for Indy right now. Touchdown to interceptions the last let's see here, 9-0 as far as what Shane Steichen's teams have done against the Steelers. 9 touchdowns, 0 picks, and they definitely will put together some plays. And if you think about what Jonathan Taylor has done, dude, he should be getting MVP consideration. 174 scrimmage yards this past week, along with those 3 touchdowns. He has been balling.
Unfortunate for him that the MVP is a quarterback-driven award. But he'll definitely get offensive player of the year recognition for sure.
All right, so there's a couple of other games we need to look at. We mentioned the Texans are in a battle. Okay, they're 3-4. They're trying to see if they can't flip the script as well and stay in the AFC South hunt. They're 2-time defending champions, and they take on the Broncos. And this is one of those bruiser type of setups. Both of these teams can ball defensively, and I'm curious what Bo Nix will do against that Texas defense.
So this is a very this game I'm very curious, and I'm gonna ask you a question, Joe. Would you rather the Broncos beat the Texans? Like, would you want that? Or would you want the Texans to win that game?
I want the Texans. See, because you're right. It messes with the record.
Correct.
It gets them to 4-4. They're right back to 500. They're feeling good about themselves. But if you're going to pick your poison, I'd rather them feel good about themselves with a win, and then Jacksonville come in and deliver an L. But I fight with that one. I don't know which way to go on that one.
Because if the Broncos defeat the Texans, then they'll be 3-5. But if the Texans somehow win, they're 4-4, and we lose today, what are we? 4-4.
Yeah.
And then next week, we do not want that.
Yeah, and they're going to get after Bo Nix today. Career high 4 touchdown passes last week. Just 25 starts for Bo Nix, and he has had 7 games with at least 3 touchdown passes since 2024, and he's much better than I thought he was going to be, and that's the type of stuff that you want to see from Trevor Lawrence if you can get him going and play that level of ball, getting it in the end zone more often than not. All right, the last one is, we mentioned it earlier, the Titans are a double-digit dog at home against the L.A. Chargers. That's a 1 o'clock kick. I don't see anything good up in Nash Vegas. They suck.
I definitely don't see the Titans winning this, but you play the game every week. You play the game every week. You never know what's going to happen, but hopefully the Chargers could, step on their throats and keep it there.
And so you're talking about a storyline that's developing up there. What are they going to do with their head coaching position? They've already bounced Brian Callahan. They let the old man go as well, his pops, Bill Callahan, and they're going to be looking around trying to figure out who the next guy is going to be. And they're auditioning up there, those players are. And so we'll find out how it goes. But I'm hearing some things about Cam Ward, like he ain't putting the work in the way he's supposed to, and that's going to be another number one overall pick that's being second-guessed very early in his NFL career.
And that saddens me because he's a Miami Hurricane, but I love that so much because he's drafted by the Tennessee Titans and he's their quarterback. And just the lack of love that I have for that organization. So, Cam, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, my boy.
All right, there's a couple of other ones I want to hit just outside the AFC South. We mentioned the Vikings are 3-4. They're getting a guy back in J.J. McCarthy that started the year and then immediately got hurt. Ankle injury, sat him down for a while. Then Carson Wentz comes in. He was trying to keep his career going. He ends up getting beaten up, wrecks the shoulder, and so he's gone. Detroit looking pretty good right now. A 5-2 team at home. They're about, I want to say, maybe an 8 or 9 point pick at Hard Rock Bet. And then another one, you could chime in on that one as well, E. But the other one you mentioned, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills, that's going to be a huge, huge scene this afternoon.
Every commercial break I get, I'm gonna switch the channel over and check those boys out because that's always a good game. And every year it seems like Patrick Mahomes somehow pulls it out.
Yeah, he does. He's so dang good. And right now they're starting to look the part again, even though they started with that 3 L's on their schedule, which you could not have imagined that early in the year. I don't think Pat Mahomes has ever lost that many games early in the season. But here they are, the Bills 5-2, Chiefs 5-3. Going to find out which. And the other night, the Kansas City Chiefs were missing 2 of their starting offensive linemen, and Mahomes was still operating and dealing and getting all his guys involved. And Rashee Rice coming back has been a huge thing for them, that's for sure.
Oh, man, they're a well-oiled machine, man. But it's just in their DNA out there. They win. They figure it out. They may start out slow. They might win ugly. But at the end of the day, they somehow find a way to win.
And so we're looking at the possibility of where the playoff positioning would be with your Jacksonville Jaguars included. They need to make sure that they stay on the winning side. A couple of crucial games coming up here. We know they're favored against the Raiders. If they leave Las Vegas with a dub, they get to 5-3. We mentioned the battle with the Texans next week. And then after that, it's the Chargers, man. And that's another team that's getting well, getting healthy. So this stretch, and I mentioned it on XL Primetime, E, and you throw me your thoughts as well. This is a 10-game stretch where I firmly believe James Gladstone, Tony Boselli, Liam Cohen, they're all looking at this entire roster saying, who wants to wear the teal and black? You've got 10 games to prove it to me.
I love that point, Joe, because those boys, when I say those boys, I mean James Gladstone and Tony Boselli, they've shown that they're not afraid to mix it up. And they're going to be creative, and they're going to make some moves. So you got 10 games to show me who you are, because we have an idea what we want our Jacksonville Jaguar roster to look like, but you got to show me if you fit that description.
Yeah, exactly. And so hopefully you get a ground game going today. Travis Etienne and Bashal Tootin. You could throw LaQuint Allen in there as well, but they have got to figure out a way to get people off the ball. The Raiders are pretty good against the run, but knock them off the ball. See if you can't get that run game going again. That's going to open up things for Trevor, for Brian Thomas Jr. If he's going to get well, he's going to have that run game helping him as well. He, by the way, on the injury report, we need to mention this beyond Devin Lloyd. He was a limited participant the entire week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, limited. And then you had a few other guys that were also limited that are out already this week, but that's a little bit of a concern. He needs to – I hope he's able to play through a shoulder which looks like is hurting him right now.
Absolutely. And, you know, guys play hurt every week. Everybody's going to be hurt, especially we're in week 8 now. Everybody's going to be hurt. So either you're hurt or you're injured. And if you're hurt, man, come on, man, because this is pivotal. We are in a pivotal time with our schedule because, as you mentioned, the front half of the schedule was a little bit tougher. Well, I won't even say a little bit. It was extremely tough. Now we're on the back half, which we could get some wins out of there. And we there's some games in there that we got to win. So, guys, we need them to toughen up if they can and get through it.
All right, De'Ami Brown, another full participant, so we'll see if he can also have a hand in some of that passing and receiving game today. Both 5 and 7 need to come up big, that's for sure. All right, we'll keep rolling. The Terminix Kickoff Show presented by Campion Law and American Electrical Contracting. We say thanks to them, thanks to you for hanging out with us. Joe C., E.T., Dylan Denmark, and we're going to look at more storylines on both sides of the ball coming up next on a 1010XL.
The action. The motion.
You see that acceleration.
Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play.
It's amazing how much energy.
On 1010XL.
Carolina Jags in historic Riverside has been named Best Burger in Jacksonville for 5 years in a row. They serve fresh, certified Angus beef smash burgers on locally baked buns with Florida fresh produce. Try favorites like the Riverside or a bacon cheddar. They have weekday lunch specials from 11 to 2 and open Sundays for pregame or postgame. Carolina Jags is where it's at.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
He talks, he listens, he tells stories only a coach could know.
So you can learn more about the science of quarterbacking.
Teddy Thompson is the quarterback whisperer, tuned up by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on 1010XL.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Clogged drains happen when grease, soap, hair, and debris build up over time. Even tree roots can invade your pipes. All this leads to the annoying water pooling in your sink or tub. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has the tools and know-how to clear stubborn clogs and keep them from coming back. Don't ignore a slow drain. It could lead to bigger problems. Make the superior choice when your drains are clogged and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyrics.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting on 1010XL.
Having a good time today. Appreciate Hayes Carline letting me step in, sit alongside E.T., Joe C., Dylan Denmark producing. It is the Kickoff Show as we get closer and closer. A 4 o'clock kick this afternoon. Las Vegas hosting the Raiders against your Jacksonville Jaguars. And we got to look at a few more storylines in this game, and we really have talked a bunch about it. The lack of push interiorly. Eric Armstead, believe it or not, he's been able to get to the quarterback a couple of times and is at the top of the sack chart right now, which is not a big number for your Jaguars, but he needs to get it going. They need to do something to dent the middle with that pass rush, and then hopefully Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker can get to Geno Smith.
It's been an obvious hole in this roster for a long time now, and I just feel like it just wasn't really addressed properly. I know they went and signed Emmanuel Ogbah, but has he made a play? I don't.
Not really.
You know, so that's definitely an area of concern, that pass rush, because if you could rush the quarterback, you could get turnovers, and then we have already shown if you could get turnovers, you can win some games.
Yeah, you've got to make that quarterback uncomfortable, get him off his spot, have some traffic around his feet. Then he gets a little anxious, wants to get rid of the football quicker, and that does lead to opportunities on the back end. So here's Coach Campanile, defensive coordinator for your Jaguars, talking about the pass rush woes.
I wouldn't say it's a concern. It's something you're always working at, and part of what we're looking at during the break, how we can get better there, how we can generate more pressure. I think people have said, we've had a bunch of pressures. Yeah, that's great. But at the end of the day, I agree. You want to get production. You want to get sacks. You want to get guys on the ground. And that's really just working at it. I think our guys are doing a really good job of being aware of where we can get better with that, where we can finish, getting the guy in the grasp, and finally, getting them down on the ground. So that's certainly a point of emphasis for us and something we're working our ass off on.
Well, Coach, I'd beg to differ. I think it is a concern because here it is, week 8, and what do we have, 9 sacks total? And our head guy has 2.5. So to me, that is concerning. And our big money man, who we paid a lot of money to, only has a half a sack. So to me, that is a concern. And I would like to see that addressed or something done about it because, again, I think that the pass rush leads to turnovers. Turnovers leads to wins.
Yeah, it's so dang simple. And you have to dial up a little extra here and there and try and see if you could send extra guys, but you have to be ready if you're going to go man. And Coach Campo talks about this a lot on our Campo and Joe podcast. And heck, Mark Duffner, one of our regulars as well, talks about the same thing, is that you can't commit too many guys, but Geno Smith is prone to throwing picks. He's thrown 10 of them. And so you better figure out a way, if you can, to get after him, like you say, make him uncomfortable, get rid of the football earlier, and see if you can't make something happen.
Joe, over under 2.5 turnovers today. If I were to throw that at you, over under 2.5 turnovers today.
Is that team total or game total?
Team total. Jaguars. Will we force 2.5? You taking under?
Yeah, I would take the under. We need to see it.
Right,
I'm
right.
with you, but I would take the under on that one. All right, Ashton Jeanty, if they can get to him and they can button him up, then, yeah, Geno's going to have to put it in the air, and they might be able to make something happen. Here's Campanile from Thursday's presser on stopping Ashton Jeanty and company.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. I mean, he runs the ball hard as hell. And you watch him he brings it, running through contact. He runs with great pad level, and I think he has really good contact balance. That's the one thing that jumps out to me. It's really got to be a team tackling mentality. You got to clamp the guy because you see guys sliding off him. You can't just go throw in there and cut tackle, and that ain't going to work against this guy. And he's had a lot of runs where you look at him this year and obviously through college, it's impressive. I'm not shocked that they put a load on him, ask him to carry the load because he's a tough physical kid.
What I do not want is tomorrow morning when I wake up, Joe, and I turn on the TV and I see highlights of Ashton Jeanty running over this defense. It's bad enough I'm still seeing the Saquon jump, the Saquon hurdle. And I see Derrick Henry in my dreams running on the Jacksonville Jaguars. What I do not want is to see promos for the rest of my life as Ashton Jeanty running over this defense.
Yeah, don't land on no Madden cover against this team. And thankfully, they had to airbrush the Jag logo out, but we all know who did that.
We know.
Oh, my gosh. And so, yeah, you never want to be on the butt end of a highlight. And that happens too often with this football team, especially in years past. And you got scar tissue on your brain from watching Derrick Henry ragdoll so many guys with some of those runs, that 99-yarder. It's tough to forget. All right, starting fast. All right, let's get to Grant Udinski, offensive coordinator, and that has been missing again. They wanted the ball early in the year. They would win the coin toss and say, give us the damn ball, and they were able to do something. They need to start fast. Here's your OC.
It starts with how we prepare and how we practice and making sure that we find things that we feel really confident about and really good about. And then putting those together in a sequence where we're able to go out there and execute and stay on track. I'm sure Liam talked about it a little bit where the results of the offense when we're off schedule and it's 1st and 20 make it a real challenge on the play caller to find something to go to at that point and to stick with whatever plan you may have set out. Now, you try to prepare for everything, but if you have repeated penalties or repeated negative plays, it makes it much more difficult to stick to that plan. So if we're able to execute those things early at a high level, I think that will pay dividends throughout not only that drive, but throughout the rest of the game because you're able to set up sequences of plays, sequences of drives, and different things that you want to get to that you might not get to when you're always behind the chains or off schedule.
It's almost like basketball. When your star athlete, he opens up, he hits a three, then he gets a highlight dunk. And then he makes a good pass. It builds confidence. So when we're talking football, if our Jaguars elects to receive and we drive that ball down the field 80 yards and we punch it in the end zone, that really does something for the confidence of not just the offense, but the entire sideline.
Yeah, it is a huge boost. And let's see if they can get the run game going because that's going to be the key to everything. Here's Udinski on that subject.
Really goes back to the same things Liam's probably talked about since the spring, and we've talked about since the spring. It's going to take all 11, and really more than that because it's players and coaches included. So it's a commitment to the way we practice, the way we prepare, the way we game plan, the way we approach our technique and fundamentals. So it's going to take everybody, all position groups, all coaches, to just commit to doing the things we do at a high level. And then it's going to take us as coaches to try to find those things we do best and focus more on those and find new and creative ways to do things that are similar or things that fit within what we do well and use those on Sunday.
Right now, our Jacksonville Jaguars are averaging 20.9 points per game. We've scored a total of 146 points. The Las Vegas Raiders, they're allowing 25.7 points a game. That's 180 points that they've allowed this year. Joe, if I said the Jacksonville Jaguars will score 17 points today, will they walk out of Allegiant Stadium with a W?
I feel like 17 probably is enough against this bad offense that the Raiders have been putting out there. But, dude, we need to get them north of 21. They need to see red zone, end zone 3 times today. I feel like that has to happen. Like we said before, Vegas pretty good against the run, but we need to see if you can't big play your way on that scoreboard and get at least a couple quick ones. All right, so let's hear from one of the newest Jaguars, Greg Newsome, who hasn't been off to the quickest of starts. So, dude got torched on more than one.
But his very first play?
Oh, my gosh. And so he was memorable, that's for sure. But Hayes Carline was in the locker room earlier this week. So let's hear that conversation with the cornerback.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars cornerback Greg Newsome here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to meet you. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Blessed. Yep.
How's everything been going here a few weeks now? You getting comfortable with everything?
Yeah, this week I definitely feel a lot more comfortable, especially after the bye week, just being able to get the plays down, be out there to play fast, so it feels great.
Liam told us just about an hour ago when he met with us that he had a conversation with you and really picked up your confidence and got a strong sense of that. What was that conversation like for you, Greg?
Yeah, no, it was great. Really what he said was just go out there and be you. Obviously I had to learn the playbook and things like that, but I was talking to him, I was like, Coach, I feel 10 times more comfortable, with the playbook, with the calls, with everything like that. So he was like, just go out there and be you, have fun. I play with a ton of energy, so it's time to start getting back to that.
What was the physical and mental challenge of going through a trade, having 2 games in London, and how much did the bye week kind of help reset you?
Oh, man, the bye week was huge for me. I needed it. Like you said, just a lot of mental emotions. Obviously physical, just traveling back and forth and things like that. So just a bye week, just being able to just calm down, reflect, see my family. Like it was big for my mental. I feel like that was the biggest thing with getting traded mid-season, a place that you were for 4.5 years, so definitely the mental side. And I think the bye week definitely helped me decompress.
Greg, where is your family?
My family's in Arizona.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. In terms of Anthony Campanile, how does it? How are you enjoying fitting in with his scheme, and how does it suit your skill set?
Yeah, it's been fun. I haven't played in a scheme like this in a minute since my rookie year, so it's definitely cool to just show a lot more of my tools. We play a lot of coverages, so just the ability to just show me playing off, still find some ways to press, but it's been fun.
What stands out when you watch the Raiders in terms of the passing game?
Yeah, efficient. I think Brock Bowers coming back is huge for them. One of the most elite, receivers. I call him receiver because that's what he is. In the league, you got Jacoby Myers, a guy that's great route runner. Trey Tucker does a lot for him too as well. So they definitely got a pretty slept-on receiving core.
You guys have done a really good job stuffing the run. How important will that be Sunday to get them in obvious down and distance situations in terms of the passing game?
Yeah, no, it's going to be definitely important. I mean, you choose a guy that early in the draft. That's what you're going to want to do is run the ball. But like I said, we got great front seven that's going to be ready to stop the run.
You guys obviously had a setback yesterday with Travis. Liam told us, he's going to have to go on IR, unfortunately, with the knee. What's it been like getting to know Travis, and how do you guys kind of reassess, not having him in the equation now for a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's been fun, man. He's a great player, and even a better human. Like, he's one of the first dudes just coming in. You can see him out at practice before practice starts. He shakes everybody's hand. So he's just been a great person, let alone great player. But definitely gonna miss him out there. A guy that can do a lot on the football field, but. We got a lot of great talent here. Like, we got a lot of depth. That's one thing coming here. Like, 5, 6 deep can all go out there and play. So it's definitely opportunities for guys to step up. And I know guys well, but, there's no replacing a Travis Hunter.
And a massive chance to get to 5-3. How monumental would a win be for you guys in terms of building that momentum back and going after this division?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Football is a momentum sport, and you really want to hit your stride at the right time. And I think with this second half of the season, starting this week, it'll be a great start for us to get the ball back rolling.
Greg Newsome, pleasure meeting you, and thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Of course, appreciate it.
All right, good stuff from Hayes in the locker room with Greg Newsome. And, it is pretty dang simple. He needs to lock in. That playbook is now one that hopefully will suit him better just in terms of the type of covers that they like to run here, and see if he can't make a play or two a good play, right?
Absolutely. What I can appreciate about that conversation is he says that he feels 10 times more comfortable, which shows that he wasn't comfortable when he first got in. And it was tough. He was put in a tough situation. He hasn't been here for, like when he was traded here, he was here for maybe 96 hours, and he got thrown in there to cover Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's probably the best receiver this year in the NFL. And it showed what happened on the first play. But now that he's a little more comfortable with the playbook, maybe that'll illustrate on the field.
All right, that's a good conversation there. Let's have another good one with one of our guys out in the desert, Rick Ballou, making the trip out there. I think he was at Tedeschi and Trucks last night, so we will check in with him coming up. The Terminix Kickoff Show, presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law. Joe C., E.T., and Dylan Denmark, thanks for hanging out with us.
Take Jacksonville with you.
There's no place like home.
Listen to 1010XL away from home.
Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home. Home.
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? You know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When the team heats up and the temps climb high, Sunrise Heating and AC keeps you cool. That's no lie. From kickoff to overtime and every long drive, they'll keep your home feeling fresh and alive. When your system's down, don't sweat the score. Sunrise Heating and AC of North Florida is ready to restore. Fast, honest service from a local crew, keeping Jacksonville fans chill all season through. Your comfort starts here at sunriseheatingandac.com.
Touchdown! I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Gator fans are known to get rowdy.
Especially us.
Pickett and Prosser here.
Join us for a first-of-its-kind podcast, Swamp Session.
Live stream from Voodoo Brewing Company.
Right after every Gator football game on the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? It's the Black Friday sales event going on now at Renewal by Andersen. Buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. This offer expires November 30th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret: Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a Dandy today.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to American-Electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah & Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it could waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running, and learn more at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Rick Ballou, he's got Vegas written all over him, and he was definitely on a big bird headed out there once he saw the Jaguars on the schedule. He joins us now. Ricky B., how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, Joe. It's a good morning here in Las Vegas. It's going to be a beautiful day for a football game. So, this news that just came in with Trevor Lawrence is really interesting. Being ill, but apparently it's not going to affect his status. But he's not 100%, and that's not good considering, I think points today are really of the premium. I think 17 points could win this game.
Rick, what's happening, man? Thanks for pulling up on us. And you took the question right out of my mouth because I produced Into the Night with Rick Ballou earlier this week, and you asked me a question. You asked, would I take 17 points? And immediately I said no. But now, once you drop some gems on me, I kind of lean more towards yes. But I'm right back where I'm at with the no, Rick, because I believe, like Joe said earlier, I think we need to get in the end zone at least 3 times to be comfortable coming out of Allegiant Stadium.
Well, that'd be nice. That'd give you 21. I think a lot of people would disagree with my 17 and say you need 21 or so. I think it's really going to be one of those deals where it may come down to which team makes the fewest mistakes. These are 2 teams right now that are highly penalized. These are 2 teams right now that are in the bottom of, the bottom 8 in scoring in the NFL. As a matter of fact, Las Vegas 31st. Only Tennessee is worse. They're averaging 14.7 points a game. They do get Brock Bowers back. That's going to give them a big jolt. But, really the feeling, doing a few interviews out here this week, is that really the only way that Vegas is going to be able to get this job done is if they can run the football. And, Gentry's had one 100-yard game. He hasn't really had an opportunity to explode, and it's not necessarily his fault. The offensive line here is really bad. But, this has got a little bit of a feel of one of those old school, can you run, can you stop the run? If you look at the Jaguars defensively, in all of their statistics, that they are best at stopping the run. They're sixth in the NFL. They only give up 91 yards. So I like the Jaguars' chances there, outside of the fact that, Gentry could get it 20 times and finally break a long one with that 20th carry or so. So this is going to be really intriguing today. It's E.T. and Joe, it's one of those games where field goals are huge. It could come down to an early field goal that ends up being the difference.
Now, I know after a fun night you had last night, the last thing you want to think about is another Cam Little miss. But they said they weren't going to do anything during the bye week. They were going to keep rolling with him. They weren't going to bring anybody in for tryouts. And dude, you know this as well as all of us. Points are precious in the NFL, and you can't go 4 weeks with misses. And basically that's what he's done. So there's so many guys that are being kind of challenged on this Jaguar football team, and Little, the kicker's one of them.
Yeah, and I'm not as concerned as others. I kind of get the feeling that he's just going to bust out of it, and I hope it's today. He's such a good young kid, and, he's addressed this. He's told everyone he's going through this adversity. He hasn't tried to make any type of excuses. We watched him at the Miller Electric Center. This kid was absolutely amazing. He was a nuclear weapon during camp, and that included the preseason. He's just in a slump right now. And, it kind of reminds me of a baseball player who, goes through one of those 0 for 20 slumps or 1 for 22 slumps, and all of a sudden they break out and hits become contagious. So I'd like to see him get an opportunity today, a couple of opportunities today. I mean, obviously you want 7 as opposed to 3, but I think it is going to happen. He's going to get the opportunities, and I'm going to say today that I think he makes them.
Somebody else who's going to have a huge opportunity to make plays today is Brian Thomas Jr., and he hasn't started out the year the way he finished out. He finished out last year arguably one of the top 5, even maybe top 3 wide receivers. And coming into this year, he just had a few issues, had a few problems with catching the ball and making plays. What does Brian Thomas Jr. need to do to assert himself into this offense?
Well, it's got to, the light has to turn on for him. And, maybe this is the opportunity now with the the difficult news with Travis Hunter that came in a couple of days ago. All of a sudden, Brian Thomas Jr. becomes once again the number 1 target. The thinking was that Hunter was going to take that away. Thomas would still be counted on, but the pressure would be off a little bit. With Brenton Strange out as well, there's no doubt that it goes right back to Brian Thomas Jr. And he's got the talent. He's shown it. You know that he can do everything that great wide receivers in this league can do. It's just about getting it done. So I don't have as much confidence there as I did, when we talked about Cam Little making field goals. But, boy, that could really turn around the second half of the season, not only for him individually, but this football team as a whole, if, in fact, he does improve his play. It's going to be intriguing today because, now with Trevor not being 100%, that certainly doesn't help. As a matter of fact, that's really the worst news that Jacksonville could have received. But that's going to be interesting to watch. Again, this is a Raiders defense that is really suspect defensively. You look at them; they're minus 11 points scored to points allowed. I mean, 11 points is the difference. That is really absurd. Again, this is not a good football team. Jacksonville should be able to win this game.
You better believe it, bro. Leaving the desert with a dub is crucial. They're 10th right now in yards per rush allowed, right at 4 yards per carry. So we'll see if that run game can ultimately get it going, especially if Trevor is a little under the weather. Let's use this, Rick. We're going to employ you along with me and E.T. For keys to the game. So let's do that right now.
Now, the keys to the game. Brought to you by Instant Keys, fast, professional, honest locksmith service.
So, would you agree, Ricky B, start us off as far as what you think the biggest key is? Because running the football, man, especially with the injuries they have to deal with right now, they got to get it going.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They haven't been able to do that the last 2 weeks. I mean, the first 4 weeks of the year, they were number one rushing in yards per play and yards per game. And, ETN only had 8 touches last week. So, yeah, that is a monster key today. And let me add with that, getting some things rolling again early. That's something the Jaguars did, the first 3 or 4 games. Then that's totally gone to the wayside. All of a sudden, they're only averaging 3.3 points in the first quarter. Last year, Liam Cohen had Tampa Bay at 6.7 in the first quarter. So even getting the ball and getting a field goal on that opening drive on a day like today where points are going to be so hard to get, I think that falls right into the rushing offense as well is something that the Jaguars are going to have to get done.
I'm going to go with getting BTJ the ball. He needs 10-plus touches. Like plus. I know earlier that they said that they didn't want to put too much on his plate, but I think they should do the opposite. I think he should be the primary target. I think he needs to be featured, not only for keys to the game, but keys to the rest of the season, because we got to know what we have in this wide receiver. If you're truly that alpha, that number one, we need to find out, and the sooner we find out, the better.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, that's a real big part here. And, other guys as well are going to get opportunities. The good news is that Diamby Brown is as healthy now as he has been really all season long. So he hasn't put up the numbers that were expected. And, Parker Washington's done some good things at times and has been somewhat consistent, but all of a sudden had some drops the last couple of weeks. So, it's going to take a balanced effort today, and it would be certainly encouraging for Jaguar fans if Brian Thomas Jr. could get back to where he was a year ago.
Yeah, you better believe it. You usually hear Rick into the night weekly right here on the Superstation, but making the trip out to cover your Jags. So, Ricky, before you go, dude, you were the Sphere last night.
Yes, second time I've been there. I saw you two a year and a half ago. Last night was the Eagles. And I was lucky enough to get invited with Derek and Susan, Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi. And, James Dolan, who owns it, he owns the Madison Square Garden and the Knicks. It was his suite, and it was just absolutely everything you could imagine and more. And Derek's going to Wichita next week to play with Joe Walsh. So we went backstage and met Joe Walsh before the show, which was pretty cool. He's exactly like you would imagine. It was a fun night. And hopefully today ends up being a fun game as well and a good trip out here to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. E, you agree?
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Sound like Ricky had a time out there in Las Vegas.
All right, dude. Enjoy the game. We'll, like you said, we'll scratch and claw for points, and hopefully they'll be on the right side when it's all said and done.
All right, guys. Good to chat with you.
All right, man. Thanks. Rick Ballou is out there and part of the 1010XL forces that are out to cover the game. We started earlier this week with Helmets and Heels doing shows out there, and now you got Ricky B. What a treat, dude, that was last night, being able to meet Joe Walsh, man. That is so cool.
And, Joe, I'd be remiss if I did not mention what a night it was in sports last night. I'm not much of a baseball guy, but that was a great World Series, man. It was just a fun game to watch. I didn't have a dog in the fight, but, man,
I'm
that was
a Dodger
fun to
fan.
watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I left the cocktail party and came home, and you saw the Gators play a pretty good game.
Right.
In the end, they didn't get the job done, and Kirby keeps it going. But then to come home and for the Dodgers to have to win 2 on the road after dropping 2 at Chavez Ravine, after only scoring 2 runs over 18 innings of baseball in games 3 and 4, it was incredible that they were able to get this done, and games 4 and 5, able to get this done and take games 6 and 7. And you needed Miguel Rojas to step up, and it was awesome, dude. Him and Will Smith.
Again, I'm not a baseball guy, but that game was electrifying. It was fun to watch. I apparently pinched a nerve with our producer, Dylan Denmark, because I don't think he's a Dodgers guy.
Who do you root for,
No, the
Denmark?
thing was, I got a little too turned at the tailgate yesterday, and your boy tried to stay to watch the game, but I fell asleep in the 8th inning, and then I woke up. I was mad. I was real mad.
So you missed the game, my boy.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. It really was. And they haven't done it in the NL since the 70s with the Big Red Machine repeat as champions. So it was awesome. Hey, listen, this was awesome. Appreciate you guys letting me hang out. E, good job as always, bro.
Thanks, Joe. Real quick, what's your final score prediction of the day?
I'm going to go 24-16.
Oh, that's funny. I wrote down on my paper 24-13. It was always the Jags, baby.
All right, that's what we're going to go with. Let's see how it turns out. You guys got Jaguars programming. You got the game. You've got the fifth quarter afterwards. It's all part of the Superstation on Sunday. Joe C., E.T., Dylan Denmark, we appreciate it, and we will say goodbye on the Terminix Kickoff Show presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law.